Why you up there trying to, oh, well, it is what it is. He shouldn't have stole from the people. Okay, well, what about all them kids that's running in and out of the store?
I am not exactly sure who coined this phrase, but it goes a little something like this. There are decades where nothing happens, and then there are weeks where decades happen. That really is a great summary of what's been happening these past couple of months, really. I mean, we've seen one of the biggest landslide victories in US history. We've seen Ellen DeGeneres leave America because she probably has ties to Diddy. Note how I say the word probably. We've got things happening in Ukraine with Zelensky saying that he's going to surrender for the protection of NATO, which would be great because I'd love to see that war end ASAP. We have things like what happened to Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. I will not say what specifically for the sake of this video not getting taken down because we obviously know how YouTube works. And then we have the subject of today's video, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, whose life was recently taken on December 4th. We have got a lot to get into with today's video, with a whole lot of answers to some of your questions. Who exactly was this CEO? Who was his assassin? And how are people on the internet reacting to this? Well, stay tuned throughout this video because that's what we're going to be going over today. I sincerely hope you all enjoy, and with that being said, let's first read up on who the CEO was. According to CBSNews.com, Brian Thompson, at age 50, was named CEO of UnitedHealthcare, UnitedHealth Group's insurance arm, in April of 2021. He first joined UnitedHealth Group in 2004 and had previously served as CEO of the company's government programs including Medicare and retiree coverage, and community and state programs providing Medicaid and other types of coverage to millions of individuals. But that is only what CBS News says about him. There are also reports of him from other mainstream media sources, saying that in July of 2024, the Wall Street Journal concluded that UnitedHealth was the worst offender among private insurers who made dubious diagnoses in their clients in order to trigger large payments from the government's Medicare Advantage program. The patients often did not receive any treatment for those insurer-added diagnoses. The report, based on Medicare data obtained from the federal government under a research agreement, calculated that diagnoses added by UnitedHealth for diseases patients had never been treated for had yielded $8.7 billion in payments to the company in 2021, over half of its net income of $17 billion for that year. So it seems to us that this man, Brian Thompson, was an absolute scumbag, right? And I know what some of you might be thinking, that he deserved his death. But we're going to be talking about that later in this video, don't you worry about that. But first, let's talk about his alleged assassin, Luigi... what was his name? Luigi Mangione? Mangione? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm just going to call him Luigi. According to ABC 30, he was an Ivy League graduate and the valedictorian of his class at a private all-boys high school in Baltimore, where his wealthy family is prominent in the real estate business and owns country clubs and golf courses. Despite having a privileged background, Luigi was described by friends as humble and believed to be destined for a bright future. Yeah, some future that's going to be, am I right? I mean, he even went to a university in Pennsylvania. He also got a master's degree or a bachelor's degree or something like that. But then everything changed when he had to get back surgery. Another high school classmate of Luigi, who asked not to be identified, told ABC News that the suspect had undergone back surgery in recent months. Whether it was complications from his back surgery or personal issues with his family and the healthcare system, it definitely came as a huge surprise just because he's not the type of person to do this without reason, the classmates said. And there are other reports of him having written a manifesto against this healthcare system and taking inspiration from the author of the Unabomber. The same author, by the way, who became a domestic terrorist. And to add a cherry on top with this guy, a lot of sources are claiming that he did psychedelic drugs. I don't know how substantiated those claims are, but that should really say something. So, we've got a scumbag CEO who scammed a lot of people, and a man who had a promising future who decided to throw it all away because of how he felt and because he was on psychedelic drugs, allegedly. Yeah, not exactly a great combo here, if you know what I mean. Now, make no mistake, I'm not shocked that something like this would happen, I mean, given what we've seen in recent months, but that doesn't mean I approve of what's happened. In fact, I'm completely against this. Which is ironic because I used to think the same way as a lot of you who might be thinking this way about the CEO, where violence is the only answer. Really, I used to think that. I used to think that way about scummy police officers who would abuse their authority. I thought that way about some Democrats, but now after taking time to get closer to God and Jesus Christ, I see that that's nothing more than a sin of wrath in me. Which brings us to the next point of this video, which is how people on the internet are reacting to this assassination. Look, I'm not a big fan of violent resolutions. They rarely, if ever, have the desired effect of said violence. What happened to UnitedHealthcare CEO is an inevitability, however, when you spend more fleecing the sick and dying than serving them. Totally avoidable. And not only are we seeing indifference toward this moment, but we're also seeing approval of it. Facebook post by UnitedHealthcare expressing sadness over the CEO's death got 62,000 reactions. 57,000 were laughing emojis. So proud of America right now. And then a lot of other people in the comments of that post saying things like this. The class war is finally happening. Have-nots are telling haves to get ready. Gonna get weird, but overdue, methinks. The remaining 5,000 could be engagement farms in Pakistan. He made $10 million a year. Disgusting. Finally, skin in the game, or how John Wick would say, consequences. This guy made a meme with Gru from Despicable Me. We sell people health insurance to cover their medical expenses. We delay payment, deny the claims, and defend the court cases. The CEO gets shot dead. Yeah. Have we passed the figurative let them eat cake moment yet? How long till Facebook bans laughing, and many, many more? There really is only one way I can sum up my reaction to this, and it's with this post from this guy right here on TikTok.
I'm not with the shit at all that y'all talking about, man. Just because he stole a pension or whatever he did, he deserved to go through the judicial process first. You can't advocate and be like, oh, well, he got killed because he stole from people, because that's going to be the same energy they transfer to your ass. While you up there trying to, oh, well, it is what it is. He shouldn't have stole from the people. Okay. Well, what about all them kids that's running in and out them stores? You think they gonna turn that up? Let them shoot them too? Because they was stealing? Shut the f*** up. You don't know what you advocating for. Everything that y'all talk about got consequences. Think before you talk.
Yeah, really sums up how I think about this. Even though he did all these things, he still deserves to be innocent until proven guilty first. He deserves to go through the judicial process. And in his life being taken, his 5th and 6th Amendment rights were violated to the highest degree. And I don't care whether you're on the right or the left on this regard. Imagine if this happened to one of the candidates, whether Trump or Kamala. Ain't no way you would be reacting the same way. I guarantee you that much. Especially with what happened to Trump in Pennsylvania, and I have to bring that up again because you all, including myself and my family, reacted to that with such vitriol. We reacted to this with such sadness and devastation. But CSO, you might be saying. It's obvious to us that this guy was guilty of something, and you're trying to compare him to Donald Trump, who obviously had a lot of phony charges put against him? That's like comparing apples to oranges. And you know what? Fair enough. But you might end up changing your mind on what you think about this when you realize that allegedly he was supposed to testify against Nancy Pelosi very shortly for insider trading. Now, I don't know how substantial that claim is. A lot of news sources and fact checkers are claiming that not to be the case. But assuming it is, this seems like a political hit job, just like what was attempted against Donald Trump twice. So yeah, I think I will compare this to Donald Trump's attempt. But those are my overall thoughts on what has happened with the situation that has unfolded before us, and I sincerely hope we get more answers in the near future. Although I will say it's ironic how we were able to get so many answers to this hit job within the span of a week, compared to us still having questions about what happened to Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. But overall, please do let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. I sincerely hope you enjoyed, and remember to keep observing from a common sense perspective.